Hi, it's Kazuyoshi. Well, I think actually it's easier to change by yourself if you are alone. And it's harder when you have people around you, team, maybe family, friends. And of course, they will be a help most of the time. But when you want to make a shift or change, it's going to be harder when you are surrounded by people. And let's think about the making a change to the organization. And of course, in this case, it's easier to talk about some business corporation. And this company wants to change, or maybe the CEO or the founder or whoever wants to make a shift. However, it's hard. The change will not happen despite the goal is clearly mentioned or all those things. And we remember the word of comfort zone, like Kazuyoshi or Mr. Sano had been referring to that word frequently, or you read this in any place. And so we have homeostasis or comfort zone, which is kind of an equal same word. And just we use this in a different context, but the change will not happen or really hardly happen because of the comfort zone. The concept of comfort zone and also that comfort zone by nature it wants to maintain itself. So of course the comfort zone is not living, but it's made from people's mindsets, and the people want to maintain their comfort zone. Of course, this does not necessarily have to be a people, a dog, a bird, or any surviving things. Maybe a tree as well has their own comfort zone system, so that they have to sustain in order for them to survive or keep living. So as a human being, we individually we have our own comfort zone, and that will form the collective comfort zone together, so that we will try to sustain unknowingly the comfort zone as it is. And but still, this is talking about the mindset. And but when you form an organization with that mindset, maybe mindset does not have to be important as so compared to the achievements they want to achieve. So because they form of organizational structure, hierarchical, whatever the structure of the organization is made to achieve something. And then you want to make a shift because each people have a role, each people have a report line or the project structure, and then the new things requires a different way of thinking and working and acting. But you have a role or the way of working with the people around you, and you want to change, but the structure does not allow you to change. So even if you think that, okay, these days printing the email doesn't make sense, so you don't need to print that. But if the organization requires that, you have to comply with that because other people are looking at that. And okay, you and your colleague sitting together think that the printing an email is not necessary anymore. But so you two decided not to do that, but the other people need that. And maybe they also want to stop that, but they think that the other people want that. And I don't know who starts that, but okay, you sit down together and decide not to do that. However, some authority requires that, so they will need a paper. So you all agree that you don't want to do that, but some tax or authority or whoever needs that, so you have to do that. So at some point you stop thinking. So it's all connected, not just in the organization, some uh, outside people maybe. So we all are connected, so that we can't escape from the one traditional conventional things that you don't need it anymore. So I just use one example of printing email, but you can see this at so many places. And because we are smart, we understand that necessity, and there are values for that, of course, at some points. And it doesn't have to be 100%, but the printing out the email adds some value. And you try to put the spotlight on the brighter side just to convince yourself. And it's going to be hard for you to not accept that, despite you are being in that group or organization. And so, how do we change this? Yeah, you have to break things from the top, entirely break everything, and it creates a chaos. And then you need to rebuild that. And but who does that? I don't know. Somebody will do that. So you have to keep waiting for that. And an year and 10 years passed. So this is very hard. And that is the reason why the new tech company grows fast, because they don't have the conventional approach. I'm thinking about the big corporation which is established, has years experience or history of 100 years. Of course, they are structured so firmly, and yeah, they want to change. They can't change. Of course, there are these days experimental things. That's this a big structure, but within, but a little bit outside, you try to create like a lab, new structure organization. So that's you could experiment here and try to transplant that idea into the conventional one. But I don't know if that can. That's a great idea, and that maybe that is the only way to do that, because you're not going to be able to kind of break all the organization who have 100,000 people hiring, and then you fire them and rehire them. Does not make sense, and you can't juggle all the things. And people try to do the new organization frequently, but still that is still within the comfort zone. So yeah, it's hard. But I think we have to try that. We have to try really approaching thinking about that. The way the organization or the way our mindset are created will not be really no longer performing after 5, 10 years from now. And it really happening faster than you before. So it was a good experience for me to understand why people or the organization cannot change. And so now I would like to step into how we're gonna make a change. And I'm sure it's not easy, but I'm sure it's possible, because we have been doing this in the history. It is just that it has to happen fast. And we could use the timeline as a friend and also the AI as a friend, so that we will be able to build a new era, maybe happening from around 2030. Thank you very much, and it was nice talking with you. Bye bye.